Mateo, Tiago y Jorge, and to everyone else who will be following these steps. This is the Danza Tradicional of our people, the Nahuatlacas, Nicantlacas. We're going to break down the saludo right now first. The four elements are intoned within this dance. We're going to start off with the flowers, breaking down the flowers. The first flowers that we do is we're going to greet the altar. After we begin the commencing, every time the Wewe will make the first call, 5 for Makuli, the fifth son. So we'll do a counting of, then the saludo will start. What we did right now was the greeting to the altar. The four directions, the four elements are based within the different steps. So as we greeted the altar, we come forward. Anytime we come forward, it's that connection with the fire. So that connection, and then that marking. Coming back, marking, forward, marking, coming back. You can do this 2 times, or if you want to go for the 4, you greet the altar 4 times. Now from here, we will switch into the water element. So into the water element, as we take back after that 4th marking, or depending, 2 markings, we're not going to go into the water element. And the water element will be, imagine the swaying, so you'll be sliding, if you will, towards the altar, gliding. And the first thing you will go to your left. Once again, many things will commence with the left. So we're going to do the swing to the water. So we're going to go to the right, marking, to the left, another marking, and then when we go to the right here, we're going to switch into the wind, or we'll go into that other one. And then right here, we will break down the wewe into the ejecat beat. So we'll go into our spinning to the left first. We'll do a marking with our right for reminding us as well, and it gives us the flow to now spin to our right. Once we have done that, come in the balance to the wind, and now we're going to do an honoring to the 4 directions, the 4 elements, the 4 waters. We can do a crossing. Everyone can have a different step as to how they want to do their cross, the 4 directions, whatever's easier step for you. But we will break it down right after the wind. So after doing the spin, and now here we'll break it into the 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we'll go to the right. 1, 2, 3. A calling to Mother Earth. Now we do the balance. What we did with our right, we will now do with our left. After this, we will commence now with the right foot to do a cross again. The wewe will change a slight bit, but it's still doing that marking of the 4 directions. After that, now we do a balance. What we left off on, we will do the balance to the other side. So if that ended on right, now we will do a balance with the left, calling to Mother Earth once again. 1, 2, 3. Over here, right? 1, 2, 3. Now after here, this is where it's optional for every dancer. If they want to do a spin, they can do a spin, and it will commence. And then that will be an ending to every individual dancer, how they choose. Some will do a spin, and then go back, and then depending how they want to connect with the creator, the altar in that moment, it's every individual spirit can connect in that way. Well, Mateo, So once again, after we've broken down those steps, we're going to greet the altar once again in full motion. So once again, we let the abuelito do the markings. Marching in place for Mother Earth. Prayers for the connection to the altar. Yeah, that would be the saludo once again. So now, doing the transitioning, once you get familiarized with those 4 steps, it is the base of many of the danzas. So if you're carrying out maybe different danzas, you will notice that those elements play a place within the story of the danzas. So the different stories, the different elements, if it's the eagle, if it's the jaguar, they'll have the different elements in telling that story or honoring those elements in that way. So as now, we'll commence with the Scatli Polka. We'll break down those flowers. We'll commence with the first 4 flowers. They say when you greet the altar with these 4 flowers at the beginning, after that for the Scatli Polka, you can then offer the rest of the flowers in the way that they come to you in your heart. For that represents that smoking mirror of our conscience. At different times, sometimes we might be even tricked a little bit because the Scatli Polka has the different ways. But within that the Scatli Polka brings the embodiment of the warriors. So when we're thinking of this, thinking of that battle within ourselves, or a battle within different things of how we want to improve, or different things that we want to carry out. So we're thinking of that spirit. We're diving into the Huitzilopochtli, the Scatli Polka, if you will. So with this first flowers of the básico, the basic, we're going to break it down, and it's an honoring. If you have a chimali or a panhuehuet, in this case, this would be our shield, our chimali in Nahuatl. Chimali means the shield. But we have our panhuehuet, so our handheld grandfather. So we're going to hold him up as in if we have a shield and we're in battle. The honoring of this, and the reason why we do this honoring to the sides, is because the Scatli Polka, he offered his right leg for the creation stories. He put his foot within the water to lure the Cicpatli to the top of the water. And with him being the way that he was, trickster and laughing, he had his foot in there, but he didn't think the Cicpatli was going to bite. And so within the fight that ensued, Quetzalcoatl came and he broke the Cicpatli's lower jaw, not allowing it to further go into below the water. So now from then on, the creation stories begin. The spines are the mountains, of the Rocky Mountains of the Semanahuac, and the hairs, the trees, the different things in those connections. So with that, we're going to honor that the Scatli Polka, being a creator, putting in those new seeds, the new beginnings for new life. So we'll hold our chimali up, and we'll imagine as if we have a row or a different line, and they have holes ready to put in the seeds. As we're dancing, we're putting in our prayers. So to really take that into thought, everything that we put in is a prayer and our thoughts that we want to project out. So as we're doing the danza, as a quick sample, we're doing this crossing over of our leg as in it's hurt, but we're still going on in battle. We're still going forward. And after we put our seeds in, we put our seed down, we're covering it with the dirt. So we'll put a seed down, we'll cross our leg over, putting in dirt. We'll put in over the next seed, and then once again, the same motion. But when we come here to the third step, we're going to now put our last seed in. We put over the dirt, and then we give it a nice little pat down or a stomp. So that is ensuing that when we put our seed down, we put our dirt over it, and then we pat it down ready. Now, once we do, everything that we do is a mirror to Scatli Polka. Once again, so if we're going to be moving over to our left, The same motions will be taking place now once again to our right. So the dropping the seed, the dirt, seed, and dropping the dirt. So we have that motion, and at the end, once again, we put the last one and we pat it down. So in full motion, the basic, the main part of this dance, in full motion would be in There's a different set of basics within every family. Some families in Mexico also teach a different basic. In their basic, they don't do the crossing over the patting of the dirt. Some families will just do the honoring of the abuelito, that he is a grandfather as well in this battle. So he's still carrying. A bit more simple, but that is that step, that honoring of that he's still hurt in battle. So we have to carry on forth in the battle. And then another step of the básico, which is our first flower of how this danza commences. The first flower is we have to give fire to our mirror, that is Scatli Polka. So the first flower to commence our Scatli Polka, we need to have a fire before we have the smoking effect. So the first flower embodies this. We're going to break down the steps. Once again, everything that we do with our left, we'll do usually a balance with the right. So we'll commence this one. It'll be a beginning of. And when we come here from the left, we're going to bring that foot back to show us into the spin to evolve into the right. So as if we see it in full motion, it would be. And then it would draw back in to the basic. So once again, that is that honoring to the fire, to give that commencing to the Scatli Polka. Our second flower, we're fanning the fire so that now we can have more of the smoking. So as many would say, the smoke signals that connection. Many would use blankets, many would use different things, the fanning. But this is the flowers, the fanning the fire. Within this one, the way we change is a slight bit different. We just continue the pattern, as you will see. It commences in full motion would be. Back into the bicep. And we come back in after. Once again. And then goes back into the basic once again. The next flower, this is the honoring of the water, the atlachinoli. Anytime that you see this movement, as we did in the beginning, we do the swaying. But this time, we're also going to do a crossing of our legs. So anytime you see any crossings like this, is that connection of the water. So right here, this flower connects once again with the huehuet and the beat, as gives you a little hop, and then the sliding into the water. So if you will, in full motion. You go into the basic right there. Usually at the end, everyone will have a connection to drop back into the básico. And at that ending of the water, we come back in at the end because we're picking up that connection of the water to rise up once again into the basic. So once again in full motion, that one would be. To complete, we have the fourth one, that is the connection of the ejecat. So now for this one, we land on the timings of the last taka taka tan tan. So in full motion, the honoring to the ejecat, the wind, it will be right after we come into the basic. I'll draw into the wind. So as we're coming in on the basic for the next one. So once again, the ejecat. When we do spin to the left, we will also spin to the right. And we land on that last one. In that connection, we have the Scatli Polka. After you do those four elements, you can carry out the Scatli Polka danza in a good way. So Tlazo Kamati, good prayers to you, Jorge. To everyone watching this video, may this bring a little bit of light into your heart. May this bring that strength of the Huitzilopochtli, the Black Scatli Polka, the Xipetotec, and Quetzalcoatl within your daily walks of life in a good way. Tlazo Kamati. Ometeo. Ometeo, Kualito Nali, once again. We're here at the Yakima Convention Center, and we're going to share a little bit of the danza with you today. So, we're going to do an honoring once again. The Scatli Polka has a few more flowers that are able to be put in within the dance. We ran over the four basic steps that are the foundation of the four directions. So with these new flowers that we can incorporate, to at least they say, if you complete a danza with 7 flowers, that is considered a full danza, if you will. Many that the Scatli Polka can carry on a few flowers. That huehuet is a really strong base for the beginnings. So once you have those 4 bases down, many of the danzas you will be able to recognize, and you will be able to develop those steps even easier and have a better connection with them as well, the understandings. So with this next one, we're gonna honor what they say is that the Scatli Polka, of how he has that duality of life. So with this Ometeo, we do the spinning, and then once again we're gonna do that connection of how every time when we put the seed down, we put the seed, and we're going to do that covering at the end and do the marking. So once again, this can be connected after the 5th flower or for the 5th flower. So we'll have our shield as the Chimalpopoca, as the Scatli Polka, Panhuehuet. So what we'll do here is we're going to commence with a spin. The huehuet once again continues the same. Every huehuetero connects with the dancer, and so they can amplify the huehuet a bit more or be able to turn down. But we're going to commence with the basic of how they do it. We're going to walk over it slow. So once again, kind of how we were doing the basic, we're going to do a spin now. So we'll do in the marking of the timing of the huehuet. So within that is giving the ejecat, that the Scatli Polka once again. He's holding up his chimali, and with the chimali he has the protection right there, it gives that marking. And then he spins around once again. Within the faster motion of that flower, if you will, it will be taken on with that marking at the end. So if you will. And then you would go back into the basic right there after that. That gives one of the connections of the Scatli Polka within his warrior form, if you will, as he's holding up that chimali, but also as a reminder that he's showing us that mirror to look within ourselves, to have that reflection. So after that flower, we have another connection that the Scatli Polka, how he brought the creation to the 4 directions, the 4 elements, and there are the 4 Scatli Polkas. We branch out for the 4 directions. So with this one, It pertains to the kind of the basic step, if you will. But this time, we're gonna drag one of the foots and we're gonna do a marking to the earth. So if you will, this time, if we're facing the altar this way, we're gonna go first to the left. A marking, and then we bring it back. And then, after you do that, the two motions within the flower, the next time, if you're greeting the altar, if the altar is facing forward, instead of going to the left, you will now do it forth. And then you bring it out. Now, once again, that is the stomping, the creation of it, putting down the creation for the four directions. We've created to the left, so as we would consider the south and the north, and then west-south, depending on how we put up our altar. But if we're honoring the way that we've been taught, the altar will always be in our west, and the dancer who's carrying out the prayer, he will be in the east. So, greeting as if we're in the east, we're coming from the east, we'll begin first south, and then north, and then we greet toward the west, and then we back to the east. And the reason why we do it like that is because at the end, the last time, we bring it out towards the east, so that we're doing the transformation of life, and that one brings it back to the east to bring back the sunlight of a new day. So if we do those in that motion, to remember that that last one, we do it outbound to represent that connection to the east. For the seventh flower, we do an honoring. We come down from Mother Earth, that the plants, after we've put down our seeds, we've given life to this prayer. Now that harvest, the plants, they grow and they come out. So with this honoring of this flower, we come down to the earth. In motion, it would be carried out this way. With the 7 flowers given to that Scatli Polka, once again, our abuelos, our grandparents said that we can honor that flower, that Scatli Polka, with that last one. For that no matter what in our life, if we put that one as our last signature for the Scatli Polka, that everything we'll do will grow out and will expand and bring healing, bring medicine, foods, different things for the people. But we put that down for that last one, that everything will grow, everything will come back out and be new life once again. So with that honoring, we give the 7 flowers to the Scatli Polka and a story and that connections. So Tlasukamati. Ometeo, Tlasukamati, once again. We're gonna run through a saludo and the Scatli Polka danza with those 7 flowers in motion. Every danza, when we're in full ceremony, those flowers will be carried out twice. But right now, I'm gonna run through the 7 flowers in motion with the basics, but just doing the flower one time and then switching into the next flower after running the basic and then continuing that way, to show the 7 in the full motion as the danza would be carried out. Usually this is the way we would carry them out for shorter presentations at different schools. We try to cut down the danza a little bit, but in honorings of the ceremony and the honorings of teaching a full Scatli Polka danza with the honorings of the abuelos, the 7 flowers. So with your permission, in a good way, we're gonna do the saludo and then we will transition into the Scatli Polka danza.
O meteu.
carries on the prayers and the saludo. There's always a greeting, a saludo at the beginning, and there will be a saludo at the end. At the beginning for the invitation, and at the end to send back in a good way, and the farewells. But us also, we never say goodbye, only until then, or until next time, because we will always see each other in a good way. Ometeo, Tlazokamati, blessings.